Okay, everybody, welcome back to the Ashish Sports and Political Podcast. You know, it's funny, right? We talk about the best players in the world. That's a phrase that's thrown out very often. Best player in the world. Best player in the world. We don't just say best player in the NBA because that's not worthy. That's not a worthy enough title. We need to put it in this large perspective. Right, in this title, LeBron James has held this title since 2011. 4 years with Miami. Now, three years with Cleveland. So at least 7 years as universally recognized as the best player in the world. If you want to include this year, 8. I think he's played better than KD this year. So I would consider it 8. Right? And maybe if you want to take away... Well, he and Kobe Bryant were jockeying for position from 2005 to 2011. I think it was kind of like a two-man race at that point. Who's the best player in the world? It wasn't very easily defined because LeBron James won a lot of NBA MVPs during that stretch. A couple. Kobe won 1, so, you know, it was very arbitrary, and I think that what makes LeBron James special is that he was, while we say that there's toss-up after Shaq about who the best player in the world was, from 2011 up until last year, and a lot of people still think LeBron James, I'm included in that category, a lot of people still think he's the best player in the world because obviously he has a more multifaceted game compared to Kevin Durant. LeBron James, for 7 years, was unequivocally, undeniably, the best basketball player in the world. I still think he is. A lot of people still think he holds that title right now. But this is really the first time, that there's any sort of jockeying for position. It's all about who was the second best player. That was the discussion. LeBron and then who else? But for the first time, really, some people are of the mindset, are open to discussion, that Kevin Durant is part of a class of player that is part of a class of player that gives him the right to be put in the same stratosphere as LeBron James. Michael Jordan was the best player in the world for 8 years. His 6 championship years and 89 and 90 can be argued. He was the best player in the world. Unequivocally. LeBron James is in his 8th season, while not unequivocally as pretty clearly the best player in the world. 7 years, no debate by even the LeBron haters like Skip Bayless or critic like Stephen A. Smith, there is no debate that he was the best player in the world for 7 years. Very little now, but starting to creep up. So Kevin Durant, he claims all these NBA guys, especially NBA guys, because in the NFL, you really talk about quarterbacks and a couple wide receivers, maybe a running back here or there, but you really don't talk about players outside of quarterback that much. In the NBA, you talk about everybody because there's 5 guys on the floor that are clearly visible, that clearly make an impact. And it's clear to see who's better than... It's clear to see who are in the class of all-star and better players. So, Kevin Durant yesterday gets ejected from a game against Milwaukee, in which he's arguing with the referee about a call where he clearly got fouled. And then his team picked up the offensive rebound. The argument preceded the foul, where he is arguing, but Golden State has the ball off of the offensive rebound. Well, I should say, they have the ball because of the offensive rebound due to Kevin Durant missing the shot, which was affected by the foul committed against him. Now, whether or not you want to argue, right, that Kevin Durant was fouled, which he very clearly was, there should be no debate about that. We must recognize that LeBron James gets fouled like this and yells at the refs in a similar fashion. Not enough to get ejected, or not long enough to get ejected. He puts his hands up, shrugs, and then runs down the court. KD cursed the ref out, called the refs out during the play, when the play was still going on, when his team had possession. Maybe it didn't warrant an ejection, but it was definitely if you were going to eject him for something, just eject him for his stupidity. Yeah. I mean, and I'll explain what the best player in the world title has to do with his stupidity. So, for 7 years, it was unequivocal to the basketball world, among media, among everybody, that LeBron James was unequivocally the best player in the world at basketball. And then comes last year, when Kevin Durant, I don't think he outplayed him, but he played well enough for Golden State to win the championship 4-1. And then you hear about Paul Pierce and Stephen A. Smith and Will Kane, prominent voices on ESPN, on the shows that everybody watches. First Take, NBA Countdown, before the finals. That you're on prominent shows, on prominent voices that Kevin Durant is in this category. So Kevin Durant hears these voices once he wins the championship. Because he has time to hear these voices. He hears all of them. He sees all of the tapes. He gets all of the text messages. And the debate begins. At least in his mind, the debate begins. He has to take his side. He has to take his side against LeBron James. And while he has that respect for him, he now feels that because he's won this championship, because he's quote unquote, or air quotes, outplayed LeBron James, that he deserves to be on equal footing or on greater footing than the king himself. That's why he creates fake Twitter accounts to attack trolls, while he writes all this stuff on the soles of his shoes. And it's also translating to his game. Because he feels like he should get the star treatment. That he should get all the calls that LeBron has been getting. That because LeBron is getting these calls, he should be getting them too. I guarantee you that Kevin Durant gets fouled like this in a meaningless, well, it was a meaningful game, in the situation where Russell Westbrook is out, where Harden is out, where Ibaka is coming back from injury, and they're jockeying for the number one seed, and they're under a ton of media and outward pressure, that he wouldn't be screaming over a call like that to stay in the game, because I guarantee you he's faced contact like that before. He's finished under that contact before. And he hasn't yelled about it and been ejected by it. Or because of it. He's been ejected 5 times this year. Has amassed 14 technicals. You know why he's screaming at the refs? Because he believes in his mind that he's the best player in the world. He never had the confidence before. He had confidence in his abilities, but he didn't think he was in that type of class. So therefore, he didn't have to complain to the refs. He just played his game. But the media pressure, the internal pressure, it got to him. He had to be better than LeBron. So he went, Golden State, won his championship. And now that he's on equal footing due to a, I must admit, highly impressive finals, he believes that he deserves the respect as best player in the world because he's never gotten that. He's never won before. He's never been the number one pick. He's been counted out. He grew up in hard circumstances. But he was never given the love or adoration that LeBron James had been given since he was 16. Yes, he was a recognizable figure in high school All-American. But he was the second best player in high school. He was the second best player in college. He was the second best draft pick. And he was always second best to LeBron in the NBA. He wants to earn that number one spot. And the fans haven't been giving it to him. He's trying to prove to himself, I think, more than anyone, that he's internally the best in the world. And he's doing it in the most petty way possible, through shoes, through fake Twitter accounts. But he also thinks that he should get that type of admiration on the court, and who is to give you that admiration except for your peers, which you can't really control in a basketball game, but the refs. If the refs truly believed that he were the best player in the world, in his mind, I think he believes that if the refs truly respected him like they do LeBron, he would get those calls. And because he thinks that he's on the same stature, on the same level as LeBron in terms of superstarness, he deserves all the calls that LeBron gets. He deserves the media treatment. He deserves the fan treatment. He's always been second to everyone and everything. High school, college, draft. And then controlling free agency, winning a championship, becoming a superstar. This is what Kevin Durant believes to be his time. And he doesn't want anyone to take away from it. And that respect that he wants, that respect that he believes he deserves, is coming from the refs. Or that he thinks should come from the refs, because if they put him on the same level as they did LeBron, he would be getting LeBron's calls. And he doesn't think he is. And he's mad. And he's costing his team, and he's getting ejected, and he's getting teed up. And this is what may take Kevin Durant down. Kevin Durant has always been the silent assassin, hungry to get the number one spot. But now when he thinks he truly is that, this may be the downfall, because he wants all the perks with it. He wants fans to like him. He wants the refs to like him. He wants the media to like him. Did you not hear his press conference yesterday? Kevin Durant wants to be number one, not just because he loves basketball, but because he loves everything else that comes with it. And it's obvious he loves basketball, because he's been working so hard his entire life to get to that number one spot in whatever he's been doing. And now that he truly believes he's there, and now that he has a faculty of people that truly believes he is the best player in the world, he doesn't believe he's getting that type of treatment, and he's mad. And he's costing himself, he's costing his legacy, he's costing his team, may cost him championships, but who knows. This is what Kevin Durant wants. This is why Kevin Durant can never truly be the best player in the world. Because he doesn't know how to handle it. He doesn't know how to handle that type of pressure. And he's cracking. And he wants the accolades. He wants people to realize he's the greatest. He's insecure about that. He wants everyone to realize how great he is. Without just playing basketball and letting the games decide for themselves. Instead, he's making himself look like a fool while LeBron's being praised because he's just playing basketball. And that's the difference between Kevin Durant and LeBron James, and why LeBron James, not just from a basketball perspective, but from an overall awareness perspective, is the best player in the world, and Kevin Durant will never be, because he doesn't have the personality or the attitude that it takes to be that great. This is the Ashish Ryan Sports and Political Podcast. Up next, infrastructure, opening of markets, lower taxes. What the Trump economy means for America.